Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Delighted to spend some time with you here on this Tuesday, talking to you about you and your business. As always, we got a lot to cover on today's program, and going to go straight to our first guest. He's with a company called FactRight. That's FactRight.com. His name is Scott Smith. He's the president of this company. Scott, welcome to the program. Kind of tell us about what exactly you guys do.
Sure. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
FactRight's an innovative service organization. We provide outsourced risk management, analytical due diligence to financial services firms and individuals selling what we call, and what FINRA, who's the regulatory body, calls non-traded complex products. So a lot of these products are investment products offered to retail investors, and they're while some of them may be registered with the SEC, many of them aren't, and all of them are not traded on an exchange like NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange. So by default, by nature, there are a lot of information on these companies that issue the product and the products themselves that's not readily available to the public. So what we do is we're contracted by a lot of the firms to go and look at some of these companies and investments, make sure that they meet all the standards and requirements of a product and a product company. And then our clients make a decision on whether to sell the product.
That's interesting. So you're just an extra layer of vetting that's not being done anywhere else.
That's right. Primarily, the problem is that at the level of the company selling the product, they don't have the resources nor the expertise to do the research and due diligence themselves. It's very time consuming. We take 2 to 2.5 months sometimes to do what we call operational due diligence on the companies, so that we understand the operational risks that the companies pose, and then it's another month just to vet and make sure that the investment itself is structured properly under the SEC and other securities rules and regulations. So it's a time-consuming and costly process.
Give me a hypothetical example of a product that came to a client, and you don't have to name names. Obviously, there's proprietary information here, but give us an example of how that would look.
Sure. So one product that's been very popular lately is called a non-traded REIT, a real estate investment trust. A lot of those are also traded publicly, but there's also a very large industry for non-traded public REITs. So what happens is, effectively, our client would get in contact, or a wholesaler or account manager for the REIT company would get in touch with one of our contacts and clients and ask whether or not this product would be suitable for their platform. At that point, they turn it over to our company. Our company engages directly with the non-traded REIT company. It's almost as if we're doing an audit on the company itself. So we're engaged directly with the non-traded REIT company, although our clients are the FINRA licensed broker-dealers or the registered investment advisors that ultimately will sell these to the retail client. And then from that process, it's a very heavy documentation, a lot of collection of documents, analysis on the documents. We go through a robust on-site visit with the product sponsor. We also do a lot of conference calls with the key management. And all of that comes together with 3 or 4 people who are on our staff, all have different expertise in different disciplines. And they bring all of that together at the end of the day with one report that would ultimately end up at the financial services firms for them to make a decision.
Mm-hmm. Kind of give me a profile. Is there a typical type of client? Do you have a sweet spot in particular? Kind of give us an overview of what your clientele would look like.
Yeah, so at the broker-dealer level, our clients are essentially independent broker-dealers. That's distinguished from wirehouses. Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, other Smith Barney, things like that. There are a lot of wirehouses that don't participate in non-traded products like these. These are smaller. Sometimes the independent broker-dealers are large. A couple of them are large. So Ameriprise, LPL have large advisor bases. But by and large, they're anywhere between 4,000 advisors all the way down to having 50 advisors. And these are the firms that primarily have been selling a lot of non-traded complex products. So that's at the broker-dealer level. Increasingly, registered investment advisors are turning to this product. there is some liquidity issues that tend to turn off a number of registered investment advisors on these products. Nonetheless, a lot of the advisors are moving from a broker-dealer model to the RIA model, and with that change, a lot of product sponsors are creating products that are that are meant for fee-based RIA type of models. So we're seeing more and more RIA clients participating with their clients in these types of products.
Yeah, absolutely. Very interesting. And so obviously, in some respects, the smaller the company, the more they're going to be in need of a service like yours. Bigger companies are going to have a lot of this internally, or might.
That's exactly right. FINRA, SEC, these two bodies, these regulatory bodies, they really don't care what size of firm you have. You still have to do the same amount of due diligence on these products. And that leaves a lot of firms that are out there, a lot of proprietary firms that essentially they don't have the resources to meet the new standards. And that has all taken place. I mean, before 2008, Kevin, there wasn't a lot of talk about failure to perform due diligence from FINRA. There was more audits would take different focuses and not necessarily focus on due diligence. Since 2008, 2009, we've seen a considerable amount of focus from FINRA on due diligence and the performance of due diligence, and also a lot of the regulatory notices and rules that they've passed also reflect their focus on due diligence. So it's becoming increasingly an important item for all broker-dealers of all sizes. Yeah,
very interesting, very interesting. Want to give people the opportunity to learn more. Scott Smith, he's our guest. He's president of a company called FactRight. That's FactRight.com. FactRight.com. Make sure you check that out today. Scott, thanks so much for being with us. Enjoyed the opportunity to learn more about you, and might have you on in the future to learn even more.
We'd be happy to come on board, Kevin. Thanks for the time. Very much appreciated it.
You bet. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and this is The Price of Business.
It's been getting so hard living with the things you do to me. I know my things are getting so strong.